Good morning and welcome to our business community support discussions that we've been doing on Thursday mornings here on the Main Street Ford Dodge Facebook page and also on the Alpha Media YouTube channel. So welcome. As always, we encourage you to join us on the conversation on Facebook and make your comments, ask your questions, and we'll do our best to make sure that our guests can interact with you there and answer any comments or questions that you might have as we go along. This discussion is always brought to you by our team of individuals, and as always, Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market Plus Digital, a big part of that. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning. Welcome to everyone and a happy Thursday for everybody.
Yeah. Also want to say good morning to Chris Patrick from Main Street Ford Dodge. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Hope everybody's day has started off really awesome.
I'm sure it is. And then we also want to welcome back to the program after a short hiatus, Kimberly Tiefenthaler from the Iowas SBDC. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be back.
It's good to see you again. You guys have been very, very busy, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, we're going to bring on some other guests today. We have also from SBDC, Darcy Swan, who's no stranger to the program. Good morning, Darcy.
Good morning. How are you?
Very, very well. Thank you. We also have Dr. Dan Kinney with Iowa Central Community College, who's going to take a few moments and share with us some of the things that are going on there at the college. But really, this is kind of a SBDC and Iowa Central Community College partnership that is kind of the new thing, the new beginning, the new change. So let's talk a little bit about that partnership and exactly how this came about.
Yeah, thanks. Everybody, thanks for having me on today. We've got some great things happening out here at Iowa Central. I'm going to hit that real quick, and we'll kind of go into this partnership that has just started. A lot of things are happening around. Definitely COVID's changed education, changed Iowa Central quite a bit this year. But on a good note, everything's going well. We're up live with our classes, doing well. The big push that we have at Iowa Central is putting that workforce out there for our local community. The needs are heavy. We have a lot of open jobs, and that's our push. And that really kind of goes into what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Probably about 10 years ago, I'm on my 12th year at Iowa Central here now. And I think 10 years of those, I have been fighting to get SBDC as a partner with Iowa Central Community College, because I really look at what we do as an institution in supporting businesses, not only large corporations that you probably hear more about, but all the small businesses that we do. And I always thought it was important. I mean, they're providing a service, we are, and unfortunately, a lot of times our staff is going in these businesses, we're walking out, they were coming in, and really want to see that. It's taken me 10 years, but I've been successful. I got them on our campus now as part of Iowa Central Community College's family. But that to me is really going to help us continue to build what we're doing, for small businesses in rural Iowa. We do pick up a few counties with them that we don't serve as a community college, but yet, as part of the SBDC lineup is part of part of their county. So, that's going to bring relationships with other community colleges that are in our region or within the state of Iowa too. But, a lot of good things happening with that. It's great to get Darcy and Kimberly both on staff with us. They'll be working directly with Shelly Blunt and her staff out at East Campus, and that's where they're going to be located. Access to still get in and see them is real easy. But, and I think for them, we have some facilities that they've had access to by working with us and with the partnership that we've had previously. But this gets them right there into a, computer lab to do their classes and things like that. So, overall, it's been probably 10 years really trying to get it done. But over the last year, just kind of finalizing it. And can say October 1, they're now the Iowa Central Community College Small Business Development Center, located on East Campus here in Fort Dodge. And then we're going to be able to continue to expand. They've added BB County now, which we serve. We're going to be doing some things in Jefferson or in Greene County down in that area. So I'm excited at what we can do by teaming up with SBDC and what we can do for the service area that we serve, but more importantly, the state of Iowa.
Well, yeah, and so we've grown very familiar with SBDC, or at least a lot of our regular viewers have over the last few months as we've been talking with some of the services that they provide. But can you talk a little bit about the synergies that are created between Iowa Central and SBDC? I mean, what are the things that really help that partnership be successful and a good marriage?
Well, I think them, one of it, it's always going to go to staff. None of us, either them or us, could ever have enough staff, separately to really cover the area well. Together we can, because Shelley Blanc are one of them that are part of the executive underneath our business and community program, maybe in a small business, talking to them some training, but yet they're needing some help from some business background and stuff like that. Well, then we can get the SBDC or our staff now really involved in that. I think that's one of the keys there. I think really teaming together, putting our resources together, I think will really help us. I mean, SBDC really focuses on entrepreneurs, and we've always talked, how can we get a incubator going? Honestly, Iowa Central by ourselves would not have been able to start up an incubator or anything. Now this gives us the synergies that hopefully we can work together. That's kind of probably more on the distance path right now, or just kind of getting this marriage together. So we've got to continue to work on that. But I think there's some things that we can jointly, as we start doing some visioning of what we want to see with the partnership that we have now and where we want to take it for our region. I think it's more importantly going to be getting out to our small businesses, talking with them. What are their needs? What are they needing? And I'm hoping we can get some startups going. I think that's very important for our region. I'm a big shop, small business. I'm not a big box store guy, especially in COVID. I'd rather go into a smaller store where not crowds. And I think, this COVID-19, it's not over for a while. We know that. I think we can see that. But, those abilities. But then I think they bring to the plate some resources for us. I talked about us and the resources that we can help them with. But, some of the resources that they're going to be able to provide to us to help with our businesses, that are out there. So, one of the partnerships the community college started was 10,000 small businesses. And, we as community colleges were involved with that. SBDC is involved with that. Before, we were separate with our region, but now that we're together on that, we have a faculty member on there. In fact, we're going to get a meeting coming up here real quick to talk about that. It's a program, that's statewide program. It's brought out of Des Moines area community college with support of all 15 community colleges in the state of Iowa. My hopes and what we're looking at is some vision there is, why not be doing it? Why not Fort Dodge? Why can't we start one of those classes in Fort Dodge? Now with this partnership, will provide us some opportunities to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Kimberly, can you talk for a moment about what this looks like? I mean, obviously this has been a long time coming, but what does it look like for you guys as you kind of make the transition to say, we're now part of Iowa Central Community College, the SBDC there. What does that look like for you guys on an operational level?
Well, it's been a long time coming, and I just want to give a shout out to Shelley Blanc and Amy Pingle, because they've been very instrumental in this. Since the first day that I've become the regional director for the SBDC in Fort Dodge, they've really taken me under their wing as someone who wasn't from Fort Dodge, and made sure that I got introduced to people and things like that. So that was really pretty big for the SBDC and for me personally as a regional director. But just partnering in business classes and things like that, and using the resources, leveraging each other's resources so that we're not duplicating things, duplicating efforts. As Dr. Kinney mentioned, they might be walking out of a business door and we'd be walking in. And so now we can coordinate that, and it just makes a whole lot more sense doing so. And especially, with staff limitations and such, it allows us to cover a lot more area. But logistically, just being under the roof of Iowa Central is a great help to us already. The space that we have, as Dr. Kinney kind of alluded to, with the possibility of visioning down the road and thinking about an incubator or maybe a little bit of a co-working space, we have some space to do things like that. And so when we get through this COVID-19 period, visiting some of those ideas and how can we help give a boost to people, to entrepreneurs and small businesses. And so there's opportunities ahead in that way. So, it just opens up a whole new world for us as far as just resources and connections, and that's important.
One of the things about SBDC that I think our local business owners, but also individuals who are maybe considering a startup, is they've always seen SBDC as sort of a free resource in many instances. Does anything change when it comes to that, when it comes to being under the house of Iowa Central?
So we will always be the same SBDC doing everything that we do. So we, are under a contract with the Small Business Administration, and we have things that we have to fulfill that way. And that will always be to serve entrepreneurs and small to medium-sized existing businesses, and making sure that those resources are available to anyone interested in business, and meeting the needs of those entrepreneurs and businesses. But certainly being under the umbrella of Iowa Central now will bring opportunities to us that maybe we wouldn't otherwise had. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want them to change anything. What they're doing is amazing out there. It's just putting the resources together. I mean, you look at some of our career technical education programs, automotive, diesel tech, welding, some of those. There are students in those classrooms that want to go back to their rural community and start an HVAC business. I mean, you think about one of the biggest things I'm hearing right now, probably from rural, well, I'm hearing it from every city, county that we serve right now, is HVAC plumbing needs are out there. And, we give them the technical skills to go out and perform their job, but these guys are able to tie that together now to provide them with the more of the business background, help them with that startup and things like that. So, from the college standpoint, we don't want them to be doing anything. It's just going to enrich what we're doing and they're doing. I mean, we're getting ready to announce, and probably not completely public yet, but we're just getting certified in a Part 107 drone certification pilot's license. And we'll be able to eventually they'll take the training through us, but then they'll be able to get their test or do it with Iowa Central. Well, how many small businesses out there could use a drone? I look at photography, agriculture. I mean, I can keep naming them, and they have to have a commercial license in the business world. Well, we've added that curriculum we'll add it to our students themselves as they come out of the classroom. But what about small businesses out there that are starting up that didn't go through the program or didn't get that off the bat, and I'm ready to start a photography? We'll have those type of resources that they can get into to keep pushing, small businesses forward and providing a great future for them.
So I think it's something that's always been there, but it appears to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that, I think as people are coming out of school, it seems more and more we're finding young people with an entrepreneurial spirit as they come out. Maybe they've learned some trades, maybe maybe it's just somebody who's doing graphic design or something like that. But I think more and more they're thinking about how they can utilize that in a sole proprietorship. And it's got to be interesting for you to have SBDC on campus to be able to walk those individuals through what the next steps might be to start their own business.
Yeah, we as Iowa Central stepped up. I think probably was about 2 years ago. Kimberly, you went with our team. We went to NACE, the National Association of Community College Entrepreneurship. We had not been involved as an organization, or we as Iowa Central had not been involved with that national organization, up until about probably three years ago. We decided to attend. I believe it was Kimberly, you went, Amy,
and
I
Amy,
don't even know, and Amy went to that. And so the great thing about that was that really honestly, I think that really kind of formalized that, we need to be together. So, I talked to Shelley Blanc, and them had come to me and said they would love to attend. I was excited about that opportunity. Honestly, I reached out to Lisa and said, hey, if I send mine, will you send Kimberly? And I think that's really helped us get that together to really look at that. Because you're right, there are a ton of these young individuals coming out with an entrepreneurship background. And why not let them start up, stay home? I mean, we just passed a bond issue just a few years ago. And a lot of my goal on that is to keep our youth at home. We've got great communities. We've got great small rural communities that, we need our youth to stay home. I'm one of those. I'm not going to lie. I grew up in a small rural community. My wife and I got married. I call dinks, dual income, no kids, in Topeka, Kansas, worked for the Washburn University. And we went over and worked for the University of Kansas. Honestly, had our first child and really stepped back and said, is this where we want to be? Kinney's large. We want to raise our children where both her and I were. I mean, she grew up a farm kid. Her parents farmed. Her mother was a teacher. And we really wanted to push that. And that's where I think this really tying together what all we're doing is really going to help to build that. I've got a daughter. My daughter was a senior at Iowa State University. I can tell you, she was going to be Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Los Angeles. She found a young man who's a farmer. She's going to be manning Iowa, So, I mean, you really look at that, and she's excited about that. How do we continue to push that in our youth? I think through entrepreneurship, small businesses, we can definitely do that together.
That's great. So, Darcy, you're actually, probably, out there talking with these business owners and talking with people who are in the middle of that process of beginning to look at starting a business, those sorts of things. What is the reaction that you're getting when you tell people, oh no, now we're at Iowa Central's campus? What's the reaction that you're getting?
A lot of positive comments back, and it's only been since October 1st. And so, we've had a handful that we've shared that we've moved our location. We've talked about the strength of the partnership, the added value that being aligned with Iowa Central brings to them. And the interesting thing is, as Kimberly said, we've been doing a lot of work with Iowa Central over the past few years. We've done a lot of workshops together. As Dan mentioned, we utilize their computer labs for QuickBooks classes, on-site classes, which now has gone to virtual, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute. So we've had some really good partnerships with Iowa Central, so it just made sense that they proceeded forward with this. And now Kimberly and I kind of have tongue-in-cheek joke about this, but we truly feel like right now we have a center that we can provide a lot of value to those in our region. And we cover 13 counties. And so, as Dr. Kinney said, we have a couple of counties that we're not aligned with Iowa Central in, but we can still bring the value there to those folks and help them with the startup or to continue to grow their existing business.
Yeah, so I mean, it does sound like there's a whole lot of positive going on with this, and not much negative. So it's a great thing that we're seeing this combination of resources going on. Well, let's talk a little bit about this QuickBooks class that you've got coming up, because finance, money, these are certainly things that business owners and entrepreneurs care greatly about.
Right. So, when I go out and I do lender visits and I talk with banks and lenders, a lot of times I get asked, do you have any QuickBooks training? And I get asked the same questions, of course, by business owners and such. So we've really just kept digging and working on finding a way to bring QuickBooks in a really doable platform to small business owners and their bookkeepers and such. And in this world of COVID, we've pulled together a QuickBooks class that will be conducted via Zoom, and that will start October 27th. It will be, as you can see, every Tuesday and Thursday. The instructor that we have for this is out of Nebraska. I've taken his class. He's very laid back. I sat through the pilot class that we did in June. He's very laid back, very easygoing, makes the participants feel very comfortable, which is important to older business owners that are intimidated and all that. So it really is a great platform. It's working well. And the unique part about this is he is a CPA, but his focus is not tax accounting, it is operational accounting and assisting small businesses on the operational side and doing a lot of education and training. So his focus is really right in alignment with what we were looking for. And he is including in the class 1 hour of one-on-one consultation with participants who go online with them on Zoom and privately consult with them about, let's say they need to drill deeper on payroll when it comes to doing the payroll piece of QuickBooks. Then he can just talk with them in that way. And that's huge. We just don't find that. And we're just really happy to include that in the class and get this in front of the business owners. And, it's a business owner, it's the bookkeepers, it's a bookkeeper for a nonprofit. It's anyone who would just like to have this on their resume that they did go through this class and they've completed this. So it's really a wide variety of people out there. Now, this particular class is the desktop version. We will be looking at bringing the online version as well. And that probably won't be until after the first year now. But anyway, it's a great opportunity. And what seemed to be such a strange platform with using Zoom prior to February has become quite normal, right? Here we are. And so we've done it. We've done our pilot and it did work well. So we're looking forward to this.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, I think like many of us, if you'd have said to me in February, we're going to use Zoom, I'd have said, Zoom what? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
And now we're all going, Zoom, another Zoom.
Yeah, exactly, right?
The funniest thing is that we're education's gone to Zoom. I mean, we're doing more and more of it. And the funniest thing is we've got some training coming up. It's how to wake up your Zombies.
Yeah.
Because, it's wearing. Zoom's wearing on me. Today I will be on Zoom for 9 hours, literally straight through, and have about a 30-minute lunch. And, it's interesting. And it's a new way right now. And I think it's a good way. I think we have. I know we as a college, I think, and again, this is where that partnership comes into. We're really looking at that, providing a lot of training to our faculty and staff in regards to it. But, not only for those credit students are sitting over here, what can we do on the non-credit side, working with small businesses?
Well, we've talked about it before. I mean, I think that the utilizing of technologies such as this, they're not going away. We may have been forced into this from the pandemic, but I think that we found that, in many instances, there's a better way of doing things that we can utilize on a daily basis. I just don't see it going away.
Well, and I can honestly say education needed transformed, but education's hard. It doesn't move to transformation very easily. We've always been that brick and mortar, but knowing the technology needs out there. Unfortunately, community colleges have done a good job, not a great job at it. Unfortunately, it took this pandemic to really change. The education is going to change. More and more. I don't have to leave Fort Dodge, Iowa anymore to even get a 4-year degree. We had BV here before, but just with limited. Now I can literally stay in Fort Dodge and get whatever degree I want. And students before, I think, were very concerned about that. Can I do it? Is it my kind of learning style? Yes, we've learned not every student's in that learning style. We still are going to have to do the face-to-face. How do you teach welding online? It's not happening. We've tried it. But, we've got to have those. But, there are other things that we can do. I think trainings that Kimberly and Darcy will be setting up, we can do through that. But there's still that me. I want to rub those elbows, even though we can't shake hands now. It's still rubbing elbows. But, I still want to be in those environments. That's my learning environment. It truly is. Zoom works, but it's not my platform. I mean, I don't love it. So, yeah, we're changing. And, and I think Kimberly and Darcy with the SBDC is going to see that, it's around the board. But it may be easier to provide more people with services, from the Small Business Development Center. When, I can put a class together and I've got 2 sitting from, somebody out of Loren, somebody in Pocahontas, somebody in Webster City, somebody over in Iowa Falls, somebody down in Manning. now I can put that class together and it's not requiring them to drive. Because small business owners, they're concentrating on their businesses. They do need the training, but they've got to be there and keep their businesses open. They got to be making money. So it's going to be a platform that we're going to learn. We've still got a lot of learning to do, but I think it is a good platform out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I know welding is the thing that we joke about, but I can certainly see opportunities where, because you're not welding every day, even in welding class, where there's still educational or cerebral learning that's taking place that could possibly be taking place remotely. And then lab days where you're actually, hands-on doing the learning. And those are the things that, as a college you're going through and we're learning, here, even in the radio business, we go through those same things. So I think somebody else was going to jump in. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say, Dr. Kinney's comments on education with business owners is so true. And they know what they know, and they don't know what they don't know. And so one of the things that we were really ramping up before coronavirus kind of caused us to shut things back down was getting out into the communities and providing educational opportunities based off of what the needs were. And we were doing a lot of workshops in the evenings in communities. I ended up shifting a couple of my marketing workshops that I had been scheduled to do via Zoom when coronavirus shut things down. I will tell you from a presenter standpoint, that is really hard to do when you don't have that face-to-face interaction. And when I present, I tend to be very interactive with my class. And so it's hard when you're talking to a screen and I may crack a joke I think's funny, but there's nobody on the other side to at least sympathize and give me a funny laugh back. So I'm not really sure how it went over, but we've had a lot of a lot of communities, economic developers, Main Street chambers reach out to us within the last month and say, hey, we need to get back and bringing education to our communities. Jefferson's a great example. We're going to be doing an intro to Canva class. They have a lot of business owners down there who just are really struggling with having effective social media posts visually, and then also branding of their business. And those are areas that our center directly can provide expertise on. We also have done a lot with marketing in small towns. It's a little different than your big cities. And there's things that we can do in rural Iowa more effectively. So we have a class centered around that. And so in Facebook for business, a lot of business owners start a Facebook class and they'll say, okay, I have a Facebook page, but now what do I do? And we have a class that we've put together based off of demand from the communities that we serve in our region. So we're starting to kind of do a little bit of a hybrid. We're not opposed to doing the Zooms. The one in Jefferson will be as of right now, unless things change, and they change pretty frequently and rapidly with everything. But we'll be doing that one in person. COVID safety, spacing and all of that. So we do provide that. So if businesses are looking for, assistance with something special, we would hope that they would reach out. And now with our even stronger partnership with Iowa Central, we can really look at providing even higher quality and a greater reach with those opportunities. So that's another huge thing for Kimberly and I at the center here, is just really serving the needs of our clients and the businesses in the rural communities. So
it has definitely been a subject of much discussion in the last 6 months here on these meetings, and that is how do you speak with your clients? How do you speak with prospective customers when you can't be in person? And social media seems to be one of the very powerful solutions and tools that business owners and entrepreneurs can use to even do research into what market ability there is for their products or services. And so you guys provide opportunities to really learn social media and teach people how to engage there.
Absolutely. And also market research. You mentioned that. We have all sorts of different avenues to go down to provide market research. And they just need to get a hold of Kimberly or I to tell us what they need. And we can pull more data than they probably can sit and go through. So we have those resources available as well. One thing coming out of coronavirus that we found with businesses that learned how to pivot. And when you bring up social media, that made me think of this. So those businesses that realize my front door is closed, I need to figure out how do I sell out of my back door, and came up with some creative ways to do that are those businesses that are actually doing very well today. And there are a lot of them out there. There's a lot that are not doing well too, but the ones that have chose to pivot. And one of the things that we found was that a lot of businesses are not even doing e-commerce. They're not online. So when that front door is closed, they're not able to sell out of the back door. And there's a program that we've been out helping to promote through the Iowa Economic Development Authority, and it's called Shop Iowa. It's a partnership with the IEDA and actually an SBDC client to bring Main Street online. So basically looking at bringing brick and mortar buildings and businesses that have items that they can sell, that they can ship, and that they're willing to put them online into a no-risk program for them, especially heading into the holiday season. So businesses can put up to 25 items online at no charge, and they can do that through June. And our team at the SBDC can work with them on providing that value. I know, Chris, earlier this week, we had our mobile unit kind of roadshow come out to the East Campus here at Iowa Central and to show resources. And then we had one of the gals from our state office go around. And Chris, thank you very much. You did a fantastic job of getting her hooked up with business owners. And she went in and got them signed up for Shop Iowa. We also have one of the hurdles, I think, for small businesses too is taking good photos to get on social media or into like an e-commerce site. And we actually have a light box that we will loan out at no charge to businesses. And we also can provide someone to take those pictures if they're needing it. So they just need to reach out to the center. So there's lots of opportunities heading into the holiday season, whether it is education through how do I maximize social media, but we also have value in programming like the Shop Iowa program and helping them understand the value of e-commerce and allow them to dip their toes in the water at no risk to them right now.
So Darcy beat me to it, but Chris, I was going to give you a big shout out because you did a phenomenal job of lining up appointments with small businesses, and I heard a rumor that the Fort Dodge Shop Iowa Day has been the most successful one so far. So that would be all because of Chris getting out there and doing that. That's what it takes, is setting up those appointments. So, and even if that's not true, I'm going to say it. I'm going to claim it.
I heard it. I think that
I heard it.
Well, thank you. It's definitely a team effort. And the fact that you have a light box that you're willing to lend to businesses is such a tremendous asset. We didn't get all 25 items up on anybody's site, as we had an hour with each of those retailers. So you will be hearing from, I think, all of them. So thank you so much for bringing that to Fort Dodge.
Yeah,
you bet.
Well, it was at Mary Kay's when she was doing hers and taking some photo and video, and they found out it's not as hard as what they thought it was. And just understanding, you're complicating a very basic, simple system, and the main thing is get your information online. I can't preach it enough. It needs to be online. It need to have that there so they can find you. And it may not be that item that they're looking for, but they find you and they can look for other items.
Something about that light box real quick. If you have an item that maybe doesn't fit in the light box, you just put that on the floor in front of something that's still easy to ship. And oh my goodness, what a difference it makes. So be creative when you're reaching out to Darcy and Kimberly.
We've all sort of been talking about it, but I wanted to show the stat numbers on the amount of money that's been going out the door, and to say if you don't have that back door open to do online sales, this is kind of an idea on some of the dollars that are moving through e-commerce lately. This is just Prime Day sales. So many of us are now familiar with Amazon Prime Day and what happens on that day. for 2020, $6.17 billion in the United States spent on Amazon Prime Day for 2020. I just can't stress enough, and I know you guys have all been talking about it, but this is the trajectory of the dollars that are going out the door when it comes to e-commerce. And the next slide is, I think, really telling, and this is why it's important for our local small businesses. This is a graph showing people who expect to spend their money with local brick and mortar, small brick and mortar. We're talking about non-big box stores. Okay, so this is the percentage of people who will be spending money locally in area stores during the holiday shopping season. And as you can see, you've got 15% that say they'll do most, and only 25% who say they'll do at least half of their online their shopping with local stores. Now, this may be also including their digital purchases, right? So they're looking to do in-person and online shopping, and individuals are already, looking at how to do that. Well, you're looking at about 42 to 43% who say that they're going to be doing at least half of their spending with locally owned area stores, either in person or online. Well, you certainly don't want to give up that online portion when you're already dealing with a population who, many of which have already said they're going to be doing less than their half of their shopping with their local businesses. So we've got to find ways to be completely relevant. We've got to find ways to be talking to area individuals, because I think many times it's simply in a situation where they just don't know that your product is there. They don't know that it's available, and they don't know that you have online opportunities. That's why the social media pieces are so important. That's why doing things to just let individuals know all of the things that your business are doing. That's why those things are so important.
Jay, you're right. Oh, go ahead, Darcy.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, you're right on. My wife and my two daughters, holy cow. I don't know how many packages a day. I think we've become best friends with the delivery people. I walk home and there's a table full of packages. But, they're looking for those small boutiques. They don't want to wear what comes out of a big box company that everybody else is wearing. It's those unique things. And I think you've really seen that. I think COVID really exposed probably more of that, because box stores were closed, you store the type of clothing. But you're right on. Social media, businesses need to know that social media aspect of it right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I just wanted to comment that we've got, oops. I just wanted to comment that we've got a couple of other resources that I want to make sure the business owners know about. And one of those is Kimberly and I have developed a really good relationship with Google. And we have a whole dedicated troubleshooting team, so to speak. So if there's a business owner that's having issues claiming their business, or they've claimed it, but they can't remember how to get into it, or they're having an issue where they've moved and they can't get the address changed, those kinds of things, reach out to our center and we can help you with that. We can expedite and give you some assistance. We've had a very large financial institution work with us and get issues resolved fairly quickly as a result of that partnership with Google. We also have a really strong relationship with Square. So we have a team at Square through some relationships in the past that Kimberly and I were able to strengthen just recently. We're also in talks with them about doing a pilot program to help business owners understand the advantages to a system like theirs. And what I tell people is, I'm not endorsing Square, but I want you to know the basic foundational pieces so that you can do the proper comparison to find out what's right for your business. But with Square, they really focus on small business, and the team that we have an onboarding team. So if someone's just interested in asking questions, they don't want a sales pitch, they just want information, we have a team to hook them up with. And then if they are on Square and they want to know, what other things can I do? I heard I could do payroll, I heard I can do inventory, I can set up appointments. They can work with them on adding those other components. So they just need to reach out to the center and we can assist them with that as well. And then one other thing, and then I'm going to be quiet. Jed, you had a slide up that showed our social media. So Kimberly and I, especially during coronavirus, have worked really hard on getting our Facebook very active. We've added a LinkedIn page to really target more economic developers and financial institutions. And so we've got that out there. We're coming, Instagram's coming soon. That's going to be more focused on some of the clients that we're working with and the wonderful things that they're doing in these small communities. And we're not ready to launch that yet, but we try to put everything out there that we can that will assist small businesses, whether it is a grant opportunity, if it's information on some programming, things like that. So if you're not following us on Facebook or LinkedIn, we ask that you do to stay up to date on what opportunities are available. So.
Well, and you're bringing up a really good point, Darcy. A lot of businesses think, okay, once I set my e-commerce up or once I set my website up, everybody's going to find me. But you have to work it. You have to keep it going out there. And using Google looks at you as a business owner, how active you are on those different platforms that you're talking about. And the more active you are, the better that you engage your potential customers on it. Makes Google like you more, and the more that Google likes you, the higher they rank. So it is really important that we look at all this when you're putting it together. And it isn't as difficult as you think. There's ways to do it. But remember, just because you put yourself online doesn't mean that everybody's going to find you. And you're right on the Google My Business page. That's huge as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're all very excited about the partnership between Iowa's SBDC and Iowa Central Community College. Dr. Kinney, thanks so much for taking some time and sharing with us the future of Iowa Central and SBDC and the things that you guys are working on together. We appreciate your time today.
Well, it's great being on here today. And again, it's a great opportunity to welcome Kimberly and Darcy to the Triton family. And, you know, a lot more to come. I can tell you that right now. So again, thank you guys for having me. I'm gonna hop off. I gotta get on another Zoom meeting. So I think it's become my life. I'm a Zoomer. So but again, thank you guys for having me on today. It's been great. Again, look forward. And by the way, Amy Pingle got on and said our first non-credit Joan class starts on December 2nd. Details coming soon. So we're excited. Great partnership, I think, with Shelley Blanc, Amy, and our staff out there at East Campus. Adding, you know, Kimberly and Darcy just makes us as a college, but more importantly, our region stronger than we've ever been. So again, thank you guys for having me on today.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Yeah. So, what a fantastic partnership, Kimberly, for you guys and for Iowa Central. I know it's been a long time coming, but we're excited because I do think that you guys are going to just find more and more ways that this partnership is working out good for everybody.
So you're right, totally. But I do want to put a plug in for the Webster County ISU extension as well. Our partnership with the extension continues. And we will, you know, they have a lot of programs that fit hand in hand with ours. So we will always have that good partnership with the extension. Just want to give a shout out to all the gals at the extension office in Fort Dodge. They've become very good friends of ours, and the camaraderie and just the great relationships that we've been able to develop during our time there means a lot to Darcy and I. So we're going to miss them a lot, but they're not that far away, and we can always have lunch together and have fun like that. So, but just a shout out to the ISU extension in Fort Dodge, and thank you so much for everything that they've done for us, and we look forward to new and different ways to partner going forward. So.
Very good. Well, I mean, I know that it's going to be an exciting time, and there's a lot more to come, as Dr. Kinney had already mentioned. So we look forward to hearing about all of that. One of the reasons that I did bring up these numbers today was because I really want to encourage our local businesses to be forward-thinking already when it starts to come towards the holiday season. Most of the big box stores that you're competing with are already turning to holiday shopping season. They're not waiting for Black Friday. that has typically been the thing because of the economic conditions we've had earlier in the year. The sales have sort of begun. It's now a race to the consumer dollar as we head into the holiday season, and so I know many of us want to hold back, and many of us want to say, like my mother always told me, you can't talk about Christmas until after Thanksgiving, right? That was always the rule in our home. I would just encourage local business owners to be thinking about it already, because your competition is already out there working on the plans to do sales and do things that are going to be driving the holiday shopping traffic, and they're already thinking about it. So you're going to need to be thinking about it as well.
Very true.
So in the downtown, we've got businesses that are having their open houses that first week of November. So we're already pushing that same thing, Jed. So thanks for reminding everyone.
Excellent. Well, any other topics that we need to cover today before we talk about who's coming on next week?
I think we had a busy 45 minutes here, guys. We went through a lot of information, and as Jed said, we need to bring you guys back in periodically with Dr. Kinney talking about the school and the different things that'll be going on in 2021 and moving forward. We can't impress enough in our community that the resources are here. They don't necessarily have to go someplace else. And we just have to constantly keep that in front of them. And it's a digital world, so what better platform than to live stream it like we're doing right now and keep it live so they can see it later on.
Well, we're always trying to find interesting and guests for the following week that are going to be engaging and exciting. Marcy's going to be with us next week from Webster Calhoun Cooperative Telephone Association. So we'll be looking forward to talking with her about all the things that are going on and how COVID has, changed and caused them to use, I think Darcy's word from earlier, pivot, as we walk through the changes that we've all been experiencing.
And she's going to also be talking on cyberspace as well, cybersecurity.
Great. Well, a big thanks to everyone who's been a part of this week. Of course, we've got Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market Plus Digital, Chris Patrick with Main Street Ford Dodge, always on with us, and welcome back to Kimberly and Darcy from America's and Iowa's SBDC joining us. It's really good to have you guys on the show again.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
All right. Well, I've been Jed Burns with Alpha Media Ford Dodge, and we'll do this again next Thursday, 9 a.m. right here on the Main Street Ford Dodge Facebook page. Make sure to comment and share with your friends if there's been any information in here you find valuable. We'd love for you to give us a share. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.